Okay, so this is last part for now, and we're going to go through the heuristics, filters, and product features. And a lot of these are good things, but the fact that you have to have them is a bad thing. So, visibility filtering. Filter out tweets based on economy of preferences. Like, of course, you need to remove tweets from accounts you block or mute, but there's a question of why are these tweets even appearing as candidates here for you? Like, shouldn't this, like, what exact features are bringing them up if you've blocked them? Like, it's likely some of the features which are doing this are doing so in error. If you end up recommending accounts which are not blocked. There's more figuring out what features are and kind of downgrading them. Again, if this doesn't happen very often, then it doesn't matter. But it's if this is a thing that actually ends up blocking a lot of accounts and tweets, then something is wrong upstream. Yeah, I don't avoid too many consecutive tweets from a single offer. I have pretty mixed feelings about this. It's as a person who doesn't want to log into Twitter and think of tweets every day. I mean, I don't have retweets most days, but I will sometimes tweet in batches. It's very comfortable to tweet in batches. Like, I don't want to be forced to delay writing a draft because you're going to penalize my tweets for if they're too close together. So this in some sense penalizes people who tweet too frequently, while previous features were penalizing people who tweet too infrequently. So this, like, you have to tweet a little bit daily is kind of the preferred cadence of this combination of features. And once again, if there's too many consecutive tweets of a single offer, maybe something upstream is wrong, but also sometimes I think I would rather see two tweets from the same author than from someone I don't know. So the balance of this versus out-of-network tweets is also wrong, likely. Ensure we're doing a fair balance of network and out-of-network tweets. It should not be 50%. This is terrible. Why would you do this? Like, I don't know what decisions went into. Like, is this raising the in-network tweets, or is this lowering them? Like, if it's raising in-network tweets, then it's a good thing, but something else has gone horribly wrong. If it's lowering them, then this should just be removed. This is not useful. Feature-based fatigue. Lower the score of certain tweets if the viewer has provided negative feedback around it. This seems good, but I don't know why they call it fatigue. Like, this word doesn't make sense. Like, feature-based down rankings, like downvotes and Reddit. You know, if you block or report something, you don't see it. I don't know why you call it fatigue. Okay, social proof, another strange name. Exclude out-of-network tweets without a secondary connection to tweet as a quality safeguard. Okay, it's a double negative, so you only allow out-of-network tweets with a secondary connection. That's what it's doing. Again, if out-of-network tweets are being recommended to you when you don't have a secondary connection, then something has gone wrong. Either your network community discovery is too community is too big, effectively. Or you're just recommending too many out-of-network tweets, which is happening. So, yes, this fact is good, but the fact that you have to do this a lot is not good. Provide more context to reply by threading together with the original tweet. This is excellent. This is excellent, but this begs the question of what are you scoring? what is the thing being moved up and down in the ranking system? Is it tweets or is it conversations? It definitely seems like it's tweets, but if a bunch of your mutuals are talking on the same thread, on the same tweet, shouldn't that whole conversation get all the boosts? Like, does it effectively do that when, due to the machine learning magic, or does it not do that? So I don't know, but it's worth finding out whether changing to ranking conversations instead of tweets is actually the correct thing. Edited tweets, determine if tweets currently on device is stale, and set instructions to replace it with edited versions. Sure. Okay, so we're gonna wrap up this thing, and we're gonna go to kind of recommendations. This is not an exclusive set of recommendations. There's gonna be plenty more if you ask me. This is everything you could think of in a short time of less than a day. Okay, so transparency. The main question for a lot of these is, what is the A/B test criteria, and how has the site evolved throughout time? What metrics have gone up that Twitter considers good, Twitter considers to be a thing? If I propose an algorithm change down below, will it be picked up because I think it's good, or will it be tested against some other metric? And what is that metric? Okay. Basically, this code is, it's not terrible by a lot of people's standards, but from a perspective of, you want a philosophically coherent statement about what Twitter is doing to people, how it's changing them, how it's changing their mental health, how it's changing the social cohesion of our community. I don't want to look at efficiency code or papers. I need to know what the features are. I need to know what the sure, you can tell me what the model is, you can tell me how long it's trained for. Those are important factors, but there's too much noise in the code that is not relevant to the business logic. So isolate them all into a single thing. There's also the question of you have all these isolated, factors. Okay. Where does a enter everywhere? Where does the propagate through? Is it in the heavy ranker? Is it in network? Is it out of network? Is it all of them? There's a sense of haphazardness or hackiness or haggardness masquerading behind the pretty picture. There's no philosophically coherent statement of the way I would do it is here's how the human mind works regarding social relations. Here's what society ought to look like. No, here's the tools that it can give itself to manage its social relations. A good analogy here is money itself, right? You don't care how the banking system is implemented. You care that if you pay $2 get deposited to the merchant and removed from your account. Okay. So, I want a philosophically coherent statement of the algorithm. And it might be that that's too hard, you might actually just need to replace it anyways in the first place. Okay, then there's also, it says the heavy ranker. After the heavy ranker, things change. I don't know how much that happens, but I suspect whatever is making the change is doing so in a negative direction. Is my guess. Not that heavy ranker is amazing, but I think it's making it worse. Okay, so more recommendations on the algorithm itself. Tweet code was different from retweets. I think retweets are not that valuable within the algorithm, but to the extent that they are, you do need to treat code tweets differently. So again, looking over the real graph paper, it's not obvious whether they could end up somehow capturing week-long interactions or not. But if they're only doing like train on one day's data and look at the next day's predictions, I think that's too biased towards very active users. So I would say give it a week rather than a day. A week time frame of both directions. Previous weekend. So basically end up, if you interact within basically two weeks of time frame, then you're good. Don't use profile clicks. I don't know why this feature is so prevalent in several places. It feels it's like not a relevant mode of interaction. I think toning down the like if you actually follow the user, it's probably more important to read their good tweets than somebody who is out of network. Like we need to decrease out of network tweets and then allow people to have more than one tweet on the timeline. It's unclear to me what the balancing would have to be in the heavy ranker, but my guess is if you look at some features, you will find out what the out of network tweets are using to kind of sneak into your timeline, which I think is not good. Okay, so these are kind of the smaller ideas. The big ideas, I don't think they're going to be done at all. That's very unlikely. I mean, like it's hard to do incrementally. At some point, you basically need to just rewrite the thing, right? And then if you rewrite the thing, you have this big question of like, does it pass the A/B test? And then if it doesn't pass the A/B tests, wow, you need to figure out if your criteria are actually good. But you don't have a criteria for evaluating your own criteria. So this is a very like a tricky thing to understand how you want to like have big ideas. All right, so my big idea is if the real graph PageRank is still a thing, I don't know if they're gonna keep using it or not. You want to make sure it's not just a follow graph, it's an interaction graph. I know it's more data, but I think it would be better. Okay, out of network tweets. The only thing that I think is most useful in out of network is to get people into your network. Like, I think there's a lot of benefit in the formalization of kind of relationships through a follow or a mutual, situation. So as a result, I think a model that could boost the probability of follow is more important for out of network than a model that could boost the probability of tweet or retweet. Okay, then score conversations, not tweets. So conversations where a bunch of your mutuals are piled into is probably more important to you than a tweet that a lot of them liked. This may already be happening inadvertently, but I think this could be done on a more fundamental level. And then, of course, the most important thing, this is you can't charge for your API like $100 per 10,000 reads. It doesn't allow me to experiment with the platform. Like I could build a better ranker, but not right now. Anyways, have a good one.